Hey old soul, just over a year ago I sold everything I owned in Australia and moved with my ex-husband and 3 kids to this beautiful land of Bali. Now I travel first class around the world, teaching people how to manifest their dream life. If you're ready to step into a paradigm that's so wild, so freeing, so abundant, then you're exactly where you need to be. Welcome. Good morning, old soul. I have got my construction in the background, so I've got my earphones in, so I hope you guys can hear me really, really clearly, because this live is going to be by far the most potent, powerful piece of information I've ever shared. And I know it's going to completely and utterly change and blow up your entire reality. So before you listen to this, ask yourself, hey spirit, hey soul, am I ready for this information? Am I going to use this to the greatest good of everyone in the entire world? And then sit with that place within you, coming down into your root chakra and just allowing it to permeate, and then bring it up to your heart and coming into your heart space and just being like, okay, I'm ready to receive this life-changing information because it's wild. So, old soul, let's go deep. I'm going to be sharing a lot of this in my Law of Assumption Masterclass, which is next week. And when you understand this, your entire life can change. When you understand this, your 3D reality can completely and utterly change. But a lot of people don't understand this. And the biggest and the hardest thing a lot of people get stuck with manifestation is that they go, I'm doing the work, but my 3D reality is not shifting. What we have to understand, and this can be quite hard to comprehend and really observe and absorb and become integrated really with your psyche. The 3D reality is a shadow of your thoughts, of the visualizations, of all that you're being every single day. Your imagination is real. Could you observe that? Could you absorb that? Could you actually receive that? Because if you can really truly understand what I'm telling you right now, your entire life can completely and utterly change. Imagine realizing that your imagination was the real world and your 3D reality is just, now this is a weird metaphor that's coming through, and I'm sorry that I have to use this metaphor because it's probably going to make you feel icky, but the poo, it's like the digestion, it's the waste of your thoughts, of your feelings, what you're exploring every single day. Because the reality is, as much as you may like to understand this or not, you spend more time in your imagination than you do in the 3D reality every single day. You spend more time thinking, well, that person did this, and it triggers you back to a childhood wound, and this happened, and this happened. And you spend more time in your body because of thoughts that come up. If someone goes, oh, my dog could be pregnant, all of a sudden you're thinking of all these crazy things of, oh, am I going to have to go and take it to get puppies, and I'm going to have to do this. If one of your kids is like, oh, I've got a sore foot, you might go thinking, oh my gosh, am I going to have to leave work early today to pick them up for the sore foot? Like, our mind is constantly running rampant, and we spend more time living in our minds. Even when we're on our phones and we're on social media, we're living in our imagination more than we're living in the present moment, because the present moment is, I'm just on my phone, I'm touching a phone screen. But we're seeing images and we're activating them, and we're living in this world that is our imagination. And so if we're spending more time in our imagination and we're feeling feelings in our body because of thoughts that we are having in our imagination that make us feel like it's real, what we have to understand is that our imagination is the most powerful thing that we have. Our imagination is like a paintbrush, and we're painting a canvas, and the 3D reality, which is 99.9999% empty space, which I always say, this matter appears solid because the energy is moving so hard and fast. So the energy is moving so hard and fast, which we call the 3D and this physical reality, because you are on a constant loop of thoughts and feelings that never change. A constant loop of thoughts and feelings that never change every single day, because maybe you're not awake and aware to them as much as you would like to be. And so we have to start changing your reality to change the 3D, which my guides are telling me is like the waste of your thoughts and your feelings and everything that you're going through every single day. And so the law of assumption is really about being the end goal, because in your mind, it's limitless. It is completely and utterly limitless, but your mind digested is your 3D reality. Everything that comes into your mind and digests in a certain way that you're giving a certain energetic power to digest as your 3D reality. The things that you don't like, most people spend their entire life going, don't want this, don't want that. And then they live in a 3D reality of all the things that they don't want because they're constantly in the endless loop that never seems to stop, which is, I don't want any of this. Instead of waking up and being in the energy of, oh, this is all working out for me. Everything goes my way. Oh my gosh, being in the end game, being in the space where it all gets to work out for you, where everything's going your way no matter what, where you're constantly in the energy of, my imagination is real. So why wouldn't I play there for longer? Why wouldn't I dance there? Why wouldn't I relish there? Why wouldn't I really tap into this new space of being? And when something happens, the reason that we struggle in our lives is because we give the 3D way too much power. We think the 3D is real. We think the 3D is our reality, when in fact, your imagination is more of your reality than the 3D. So I know this is crazy concept that may never have been presented to you before. Maybe it has. Maybe it's still sinking in. Maybe you're digesting it and allowing it to waste out into the 3D. The truth is that life is just images of the mind expressed. The reason that most people cannot manifest is because they think the 3D is solid, because they actually feel like the 3D is more of a reality than their mind. When you can understand that your imagination is more of a reality than the 3D, and you play and you dance and you're in the energy of limitless creative possibilities, endless possibilities, you start to realize that your reality, your mind, your imagination is the real reality, and that's where you can live. That's where you can play and dance and have everything that you fully desire. And when you're in that energy, this reality is just something that you observe, and you're like, oh, interesting. I'm going to go dance and play in my millionaire life in my mansion, doing all these fun things, instead of getting stuck in this 3D reality. Now, I'm going to go through this really, really, really deeply in the Law of Assumption Masterclass, because I don't want you to bypass, and I don't want you to, like, try to avoid the 3D reality, because it is part of our human experience. But the problem is that so many of us are getting really stuck in the 3D reality. We're not able to manifest because we're not seeing how potent and how powerful we are. We're just seeing the density of everything that we've created, and we think that we are this reality, which we are so much more than. So if you're ready to go deep with the Law of Assumption Masterclass, come and join me on Monday. I'm going to pop the link below. If you're not in the Limitless Wealth membership and you don't want to be, then you can just join the masterclass there, but it will be in the Limitless Wealth membership as well. And anyone watching this after the Law of Assumption Masterclass has come out, you can access it. The replay will be available as well. I hope you have the most beautiful, most magical, most incredible day. Remember that conditions do not exist, and the more that you play in your mind and you play in your imagination and stop giving the 3D so much power, the more you're going to start to loosen up this solid structure of the 3D, and you're going to start to see change, which is what we all desire, what we all want. Big love, all. Have the most magical day. Mwah. Aho.